Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Chess Chirps. I'm back with another game analysis. As you can see the title, Lose Knight and Win the Game. Here we get into the game and understand practically how does it work. At first we get into game by analyzing what's happening around. As you can see here, our queen and our rook. Here is a battery targeting at h3 pawn, and g2 pawn and h3 pawns are crucial points, critical pawns, because they're in front of the king protecting the king. So to enter into the king, to keep check and attack king, we have to face this h3 pawn. So to take this h3 pawn, we have to remove two protectors of h3 pawn, that are g2 pawn and this knight. See, this knight is protecting h3 and g2 pawn. It is guarding both g2 and h3 pawn. And this h3 pawn has support of g2 pawn. See here. So, in order to attack, in order to take the pawn with queen, we have to remove g2 pawn and also knight. So, we understand that as we get into the game. Here my opponent is playing with white pieces and I am playing with black pieces, and it is white turn to play. So here plays g d4 to attack our knight. Here our knight is under attack, and so to remove this attacker we have to attack this attacker. There is no source anywhere to attack this d4 pawn. So the only option left for us to remove the knight from here, that is the only defense left for us. So we have to move anywhere like this. But here I have played the stunning move, that is a game changing move, that is bishop c6. Here it is a brilliant move because we have sacrificed our whole knight, which is of 3 points, for a pawn that is of 1 point. By pinning, by playing bishop c6, we are pinning g2 pawn. So this g2 pawn has become inactive because of playing bishop c6, because it is pinning the g2 pawn. Now this pawn is totally inactive. It cannot guard this h3 pawn anymore. So another guard left for us to is this knight. So we have to remove the defense of this knight so that we can attack this h3 pawn. So we understand that. So here we have left this knight. We have sacrificed the knight for to develop this bishop to pin this g2 pawn. Now the opponent is gonna take this knight, free knight, to get 3 points advantage. So he takes and we take with our pawn. Pawn takes pawn. Now if we see here, it is a double attack. Discovered attack on queen and double attack on knight. See, there are two threats on opponent pieces, white pieces. This rook is attacking queen and this pawn is attacking knight. The opponent obviously is gonna save queen because it is of 8 points, and knight is of only 3 points. So he tries to save this knight, sorry, queen. So he moves to e1. Here opponent played queen e1 so that if we take white knight, he will take our black knight which is hanging. So there will be an exchange of knights. There will be no lose of material for white. We already lost a knight which is of 3 points by developing this bishop. So here, although there was a double attack here, by moving to queen e1, he not only tries to protect his queen but also trying to attack this knight for knight exchange. So if we take the knight and the opponent is gonna take the knight. There was an exchange of knights here, as you can see here. There is no loss of material for white. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes knight. Here is our final touch. There is a mate in two if we observe here, because a god was removed. The only god left for this h3 pawn is gone. That was knight. Here we have already made this pawn inactive by pinning with bishop. The only god left for h3 pawn is this knight, which is eventually removed with pawn. So now this pawn is totally has no protection for this h3 pawn. Knight gone, and this pawn is pinned by bishop, so we can easily attack this pawn now. So we do that. See, now white cannot take with pawn because it is pinned. The only option left for king is to move here. So kg1 is a forced move. Now there's a checkmate here. See, there was a loss of knight at first. We just lost the knight by developing this bishop, by pinning this g2 pawn, and eventually we have removed the god, that is knight. Even that was removed, and eventually we attacked the h3 pawn by removing two gods simultaneously. I hope you understand, guys. Thank you.